All right. It is Saturday, September 7th, 2019 at 4:10 p.m. Let's take a look at some headlines. Colorado boy describes fighting off mountain lion who had his head in its mouth. An 8-year-old boy from Colorado recovering from a mountain lion attack described how he fought off the animal with a stick as it pinned him under a tree. Pike Carlson was playing with his brother in the backyard of their home in Bailey when he went down the hill to talk to a neighbor, according to the NBC affiliate in Denver. Pike said as he was walking, he was suddenly attacked by a lion. I was just punching, trying to grab anything that I can, he said about the August 21st attack. I did find a stick and try to get it in the eye, but the stick snapped. As Pike fought the lion, his brother Gage ran to get their father. When Rob Carlson, armed with a knife, arrived at the scene, he saw his son pinned under a tree with his head in the lion's mouth, he told Kusa. Eventually, Ron Carlson was able to scare the animal away. The whole side of his face was open, he said about his son. There was blood all over him. The lion that attacked Pike was a 1-year-old male, Colorado Parks and Wildlife said in a news release, along with the second male lion that was euthanized after wildlife officials found them near the carcass of a domestic goat the animals had killed. The agency had said hair samples taken from Pike and his father matched tissue samples from the lion. Thank goodness that he was all right and he survived. That's such a happy-looking young boy. I'm so sad that he got attacked by a lion. All right, next, American Airlines mechanic charged with sabotaging plane. An American airline mechanic has been charged with damaging an aircraft in July as he was allegedly upset over stalled union contract negotiations. The plane with 150 people on board was scheduled to fly from Miami to Nassau in the Bahamas on July 17th, but it aborted takeoff after the pilots received an error message about the flight computer. Upon inspection, a piece of foam was found glued inside a navigation system part which stopped it from functioning. Suspect Abdul Majid Mafu Ahmed Alani told police he had tampered with the system to cause a delay or have the flight cancelled so that he would get overtime work, according to a criminal complaint filed in a Miami court. He did not intend to cause any harm to either the plane or the passengers, he is quoted as saying in an affidavit included in the complaint. According to the complaint filed on Thursday, Mr. Alani glued the foam inside the tube, leading from the outside of the plane to its air data module, a system that reports aircraft speed, pitch, and critical flight data, the Miami Herald reports. He was upset the stall contact dispute between the union and American Airlines, which he said had affected him financially, according to the complaint. The mechanics union had been trying to secure a new contract with the airline as the company outsourced more maintenance jobs in a bid to curb costs. That is pretty scary for somebody to just sabotage an airplane because of financial issues. Alright, next. 5 U.S. industries hit hardest by Trump's latest China tariffs. More than 100 billion of about 300 billion in new U.S. tariffs on Chinese imports took effect this week, with the rest due to hit in December. By year's end, nearly every good imported from China will be taxed by the U.S. government, about 500 billion worth on total goods paid for by the companies in America that imported them. The latest round of tariffs, which started September 1st, is the first to directly cover many consumer goods, hitting middle-class staples like food, apparel, footwear, and consumer electronics. How and when these import taxes will be felt isn't yet clear, although more than 150 trade groups sent a letter to President Donald Trump last week pleading for postponements and the last-ditch effort to halt them. But U.S. companies already are cutting costs, putting off investments, and paying extra to build up inventory to help cushion off the impacts of China tariffs. More companies are postponing decisions like building factories, Dutch Bank Analysis said in a report last week. A recent Goldman Sachs survey found companies are rerouting supply chains and relocating production to mitigate exposure on the trade war, moves that can take years to pull off. That is so sad to hear that these tariffs are already starting to take effect. Hopefully the prices don't go too high. Alright, 3 more deaths, at least 450 illnesses linked to vaping nationwide. Officials on Friday in Indiana, California, and Minnesota reported deaths in their states linked to vaping. Previous deaths have been reported in Illinois and Oregon. Indiana health officials confirmed a patient died from severe lung injury. Minnesota health officials linked a death in August to electronic cigarettes, and Los Angeles health officials recorded the state's first vaping related death. Nationwide, U.S. health officials said that they're now investigating more than 450 cases of possible vaping-related illnesses in 33 states. The Center for Disease Control said some type of chemical exposure is likely associated with the illnesses, but more information is needed to determine the exact cause. Many of those hospitalized reported recently vaping, a THC product with chemicals from marijuana, while a smaller group reported using regular e-cigarettes. The CDC did not identify any particular brand of e-cigarette, but expressed concern about any products sold on the street or tampered with by users. They're really concerned about unknown substances people are buying on the street. He said they think it's not an infection, it's probably some chemical irritation. When you think about it, these e-cigarette devices are really like chemistry sets. You put in this liquid, you lick it, then you heat it up. There's some kind of chemical reaction. You're creating all these different chemicals. You're not entirely sure what these chemicals are, but we are sure of one thing, you're sucking a lot of them. So it's basically about chemicals when it comes to e-cigarettes. Please, guys, don't vape. It looks like people are getting hurt, possibly dying from this, so it's best not to do that. Alright, guys, hit like and subscribe for more videos, and see you guys next time. Remember, we have a sponsor, Dave's Empire 1981, in the link description below. Check him out. He sells hats and sneakers, basically with art on them. If you have any art you would like done, either comic book art or any creative art that you want on sneakers or a hat, he'll do that for you. Alright, guys, see you guys next time. God bless.